The world today is settled by nations representing a rich diversity of cultures and languages. From English to Mandarin, Finnish to Yoruba, Pashto to French, there are 6,909 cataloged languages spoken in the world today. Where did all of these languages come from? Linguists around the world have, with general acceptance, been able to trace the evolution of language back around 6,000 years to what is referred to as the Proto-Indo-European language, spoken as late as 3000 BC. The Proto-Indo-European language can be considered the ancestor for virtually all European languages, as well as many South Asian languages. Romance languages such as French and Spanish, Germanic languages and Slavic languages, as well as Hindi, Gujarati, Pashto, Farsi, and other Indic and Iranian languages all claim the Proto-Indo-European language as a common ancestor. Relatively young languages, such as Romance and Germanic languages, have strong links that can be easily discovered. For instance, the word for hand in Spanish is mano, in French is man, and in Italian is mano. The word for hand can also be used to discover similarities in the Germanic languages. The word in English is hand, in Danish is hand, and in German is hunt. Applying this comparative method, one can see relatedness across the language groups proceeding from the Proto-Indo-European. Observe Table 1. Comparing words from Arabic, Hebrew, Sanskrit, Avestan, Classical Greek, Latin, Gothic, Old Irish, and Turkish. When comparing the roots for each word, the languages can be logically grouped as follows. Arabic with Hebrew has the first group, Sanskrit, Avestan, Classical Greek, Latin, Gothic, and Old Irish as the second group, and Turkish as an independent group. As you can see, these groupings of Indo-European languages share many roots that are quite similar, indicating common ancestry. For instance, the Sanskrit word for tooth, dont, is seen closely replicated by the Avestan danton, the Latin dant, and the Old Irish det, and is more distantly seen in the Turkish dish. There are numerous other examples of shared roots in this table alone. Today, using this comparative method of linguistics that was pioneered by Sir William Jones in the 18th century, research such as Dr. Merritt Ruland of Stanford University have been able to extrapolate 12 ancient language families that served as ancestors to all language today. Khoisan, spoken in southern Africa, Niger Kordofanian, spoken in southern and central Africa, Nilo-Saharan, spoken in East Africa and the Central Sahara, Afro-Asiatic, spoken in North Africa and the Arabian Peninsula, Dravidian, spoken in southern India and Sri Lanka, Kartvelian, spoken in present-day Turkey, Eurasiatic, spoken in modern-day Europe, Russia, and parts of India and Alaska, Dean-Caucasian, spoken in modern-day China, Austric, spoken in modern-day Indonesia, Indo-Pacific, also spoken in parts of Indonesia, Australian, and Amarant, spoken in South America and much of North America. As it has been demonstrated that all language today is descended from 12 ancient families, it would be logical to assume that the 12 families themselves must have come from a language or language group that preceded them. In fact, when applying the comparative method to several roots of words from these families, the results do seem to suggest that the language groups were at some point related. Take the word one, or finger for instance. The table shows a strong resemblance between the roots of various ancient language groups, beginning with a T or D, which are linguistically very similar, and often ending with the sound k. Furthermore, the word two follows a similar pattern, beginning with p or b, which again are linguistically similar, and ending with the sound l. Patterns also emerge with the word water, beginning with an a or o, followed by the sound k, and usually ending with an a or o. These similarities indicate a relatedness among the language groups which indicate common ancestry, and a applying the ancestral pattern that has been demonstrated, it is theorized that all languages today must be descended from one single mother tongue. And while this is a reasonable conclusion given the seeming relatedness of all language groups, the claim has always lacked empirical evidence. However, a recent study of phonemic diversity around the world by Dr. Quentin Atkinson of the University of Auckland is changing that. Dr. Atkinson measured phonemic diversity in 504 languages from around the world. As the number of distinct units of sound, or phonemic diversity of a population, is positively correlated with its speaker size, it would follow that with an out-of-Africa human migration, phoneme inventory would be reduced as smaller portions of the human population split from larger populations. The results were predictable. Controlling for modern population size, Dr. Atkinson found the smallest phoneme inventory was found in Oceania and South America, gradually increasing through North America, Europe, and Asia. The highest level of phoneme diversity was observed in Africa. Thus, following phonemes to their most diverse point, the evidence suggests that language follows a serial founder's effect model out of Africa, indicating the likelihood of a single origin of all language.